Welcome everyone, my name's Ali A, and buckle up because we are about to dive deep into why the end of Tilted Towers could be around the corner and why the inevitable death of Tilted Towers could be linked to a meteorite in the sky above the map in Fortnite Battle Royale that is powering its way down towards the map, and most of you guys have been oblivious to this as it has been starting its route for weeks now, and the end of Tilted Towers could be very, very close. What is this all about? What is going on? I'm going to explain all of it in this video right now, so make sure you listen up. Make sure you stick around to the end as we talk about why this is going to be happening, how it's going to be happening, and when it's going to be happening as Tilted Towers may be leaving Fortnite Battle Royale. Before we jump into this very interesting video, which is looking very, very likely, more and more likely as the days go on with the potential end of Tilted Towers, but we've also got an update on what is going to be coming this week to Fortnite Battle Royale. We have got vending machines, the ability to purchase weapons in the game from vending machines scattered around the map using your materials as a currency to get a weapon. I actually talked about how this was accidentally found in a video last week, so that glitch and that little accident appears to be legitimate. So if you want to see vending machine gameplay first here on the channel to see exactly how it works this Thursday, make sure you're subscribed, and as always turn notifications on, otherwise YouTube will not tell you when my videos go live, so that part is really, really important. I also need to clear something up very quickly. Obviously, April the 1st has just passed. A well-known April Fool's Day where people like to play jokes on each other. On that day, I uploaded a video pretending that there were no legendary scars in the game, no legendary anything in the game, in fact. And in that gameplay, I walked past many great weapons and pretended they didn't exist. I did that on purpose, guys. The whole point was that it was meant to be a funny April Fool's. I think a lot of you guys didn't quite grasp that. Fair enough, normally you don't see me walk past legendary scars and pretend they're not there, but that was just a little bit of a joke. I do apologize if any of you guys are angry as a result of that video. I didn't quite get it, but if you go back and rewatch it, knowing that, it is quite funny, at least I like to think it is. And don't worry, I won't be leaving any legendary scars on the floor again, guys. Now that you know what went on there, hopefully you feel a little bit better and don't have to worry about my eyesight quite as much. So with that out of the way and vending machines coming later this week, let's dive into the juicy theory for the meteorite, which is coming towards Fortnite Battle Royale and why it's about to crash into and destroy and take down Tilted Towers. Now, I feel like Tilted Towers is a love-hate relationship. I sometimes love to go there. It leads to potentially really high kill games, and sometimes I completely ignore it and leave it alone. But it is definitely a fact that Tilted Towers has changed the dynamics of where people land in Fortnite Battle Royale and has split the opinions amongst the community as to whether or not it's a good thing to have it in the map or a bad thing, as it draws in many, many players and arguably doesn't distribute the players evenly enough across the map. So the theory that Tilted Towers would potentially be taken down or removed in what is potentially a very interesting way of the meteorite coming towards the map is very possible, especially with how the community consider Tilted Towers to be arguably a place where too many people go. Now, for those of you guys that don't look up in the sky often in Fortnite Battle Royale, I don't blame you. It's not something you really need to do, but there is a meteor already above the map in Fortnite Battle Royale, and you can see it streaming towards the island that we play Fortnite Battle Royale on, and it actually looks pretty damn large. If you haven't noticed it, just look up in the sky when you're in the battle bus or on the ground, and you can see it fairly easily. It is fairly large, almost as big as the moon or the sun as they rotate throughout the day and night cycles, and that has actually grown. So I don't know if many people know this, but a few weeks ago, that was actually already on the map, but the meteorite was nowhere near as large. It was just a very bright, large star in the sky. Now, I noticed this myself a few weeks ago as I looked up in the sky, because I had my own theory that with the llamas that had recently been added onto the map, maybe there was some sort of sky signal that if you looked up in the sky, there'd be certain star correlations or certain bright lights that would guide you to the locations of the llama, because obviously, as we know, the llama locations are completely random. Now, it appears that there isn't any way to tell where the llamas were, but that bright star did catch my attention, and it has now evolved and turned into this meteor in the the sky that is very, very prominent. But why is this going to be hitting tilted towers? When is it going to be hitting tilted towers? We need more information, so obviously we have to dive deeper. So another new addition to the map that actually I bumped into in a gameplay, I think early last week when the new update came out, added in telescopes to certain mountain points in Fortnite Battle Royale. These hadn't been seen before, hadn't been on the map before, and there seemed to be no way to interact with them. I thought maybe you could look down them and spy on people across the map. I thought it'd be quite a cool idea. However, it appears if you go around to the other end of a telescope, the larger end of a telescope, and take a closer look, this telescope is zooming in, that is right, on the meteorite in the sky. So those telescopes are basically watching this meteorite coming towards the freaking Earth, to the Fortnite Battle Royale island, and is another hint and another clue that we should be paying attention to the sky, and the Epic Games want us to know that this is in the game and something is going to be happening with it. You can actually make out a reflection of a certain part of the map in the telescope. I can't quite work out if it's two mountain peaks or if it is actually itself tilted towers with all of its tall buildings in it. If you guys can make that out, let me know down below in the comment section of what you think you can see on the other end of a telescope. But if you jump into a map, take a look and see for yourself that the telescope is looking up at those meteorites in the sky. And just a final point of proof that large glowing blue stone in the sky is actually a meteorite. In the game files, the actual meshing and the actual build for that meteorite has been found in the source code, so it is being put in there on purpose, and it's not just some weird fluky broken star in the sky. Epic Games want us to see this. Now for the next part of this theory, we're going to be talking about Poland. There is an assumption that Poland and the Fortnite Battle Royale map, once laid on top of each other, are very, very similar in shape and size. And the idea is that the Fortnite Battle Royale map has actually been loosely based on Poland itself as a country. This has been backed up by a few theories. One of them, for example, is the fact that a large city within Poland, known as Warsaw, is actually one of the biggest, largest shopping locations to go to in Europe, containing a huge shopping mall. And guess what? If you actually lay that on top of the Fortnite Battle Royale map, it directly lays over Retail Row, whose name very obviously leads to shopping, big malls, and very, very similar links in with Warsaw as a location too in Poland. So a little bit of an interesting link there. A few other spots around the map, including Haunting Hills, also links to a derelict, abandoned, and also known as being a haunted location within Poland that, again, once the map is laid on top of each other, lands directly on top of Haunted Hills. Just a few examples of how places correlate and how the designers, when they're putting the map together, may be using points of interest in Poland to create them in Fortnite Battle Royale. Diving even deeper, Epic Games, who are obviously the people that developed Fortnite Battle Royale, originally back in the day when they were very first formed, was a very small development company, as most development companies start off as, and they actually merged with another Polish company, which as a result actually tripled Epic Games' total net worth, making them a far bigger development studio, and merging them together to create a bigger and better development team. Now, later on, those guys actually split off again, and Epic Games went their own ways, and so did this Polish development team. But it does mean that Epic Games had ties with this Polish team, and as a result could have been a nod in their direction as to why the Fortnite Battle Royale map is based on the country Poland. Now, there's a reason I'm talking a load about Poland, and it comes down to a meteor strike that actually happened in Poland at a location that is almost identical to where Tilted Towers is in Fortnite Battle Royale. That is right. Now, apologies if I pronounce this incorrectly, but there is a large city in Poland called Poznan, and just outside of Poznan, there has been a meteor strike with lasting meteor craters, 7 in fact. And this was called the Morasco Meteor Strike. Now, the location that we've just mentioned, if we take Poznan as a city within Poland and overlay it, it very loosely, almost directly on top of, closely lands up and lines with Tilted Towers within Fortnite Battle Royale. More links and crazy connections potentially linking that meteor with its designated location being Tilted Towers. But that isn't all, guys, there's more. So remember when I said, and you can look up in the sky and literally see the fact that the meteor has this like blue glow to it, a light blue glow to it. and it's starting to look really freaking big in the sky. Well, this is extremely interesting, and if anything, just very weird. We have to dive back even further into Epic Games' history. So the CEO of Epic Games, Tim Sweeney, great guy, actually got to meet with him and chat very briefly when I flew out to San Francisco to talk about the new replay mode that's coming to Fortnite. He's the big dog. He's the guy that started off Epic Games, owns Epic Games, and is an extremely intelligent guy. If we jump all the way back and have a look at some of his very first games that he developed a game called ZZT, or ZZT, depending on how you say the letter Z, but that's not important. He developed this game all the way back in 1991. Back then, the internet wasn't as prevalent and was nowhere near used in the way that it's used now for us to share gaming theories like we're doing right at this moment. And there was actually an Easter egg in that game that Tim Sweeney developed, where a very large city, and I'll throw up this image on screen here, a very large city had, exactly like we've got in Fortnite Battle Royale right now, a blue glowing meteor coming towards this city, which ultimately destroyed it. And it was a part of this game that he had developed with no real meaning behind it, real explanation, and was overlooked and obviously never talked about really since because it was such an old game. However, with Tim Sweeney's ties now with Fortnite and him obviously owning Epic Games, this could have been something that the development team have again nodded at in the direction of this game that was developed, with the blue meteor striking down the largest and biggest city, not only in that game all of those years ago, but in Fortnite Battle Royale right now in the form of tilted towers. So all looking pretty crazy, guys, isn't it? Now, we have got another really interesting point here. This is linking directly back into the game again, and that is to do with Season 3 of the Battle Pass in Fortnite Battle Royale. Now, there's a very obvious theme with the Season 3 Battle Pass, and that was the space theme. If we take a look at the Battle Pass unlocks as you work all the way up to tier 100, it starts off instantly with an astronaut outfit. And a lot of the teasing images and teasing assets for Season 3 of Fortnite was all to do with being in space, shots of characters falling down from the Battle Pass, looking up at the sky behind them, or in this case, in a lot of the pictures, the stars in the night sky behind them. And the interesting thing is, if we actually work our way through this Battle Pass, there is, again, more hints potentially at why and what is happening with this meteorite in the Fortnite world. So if we keep on going and work our way up the unlocks, we get to a point with the very obvious inclusion, I remember seeing this when it first came out, and you guys may have noticed it as well, along with all of the other astronaut and space-themed items, we have got ourselves, look at this, a nuclear explosion. A nuclear explosion, or explosion of a large precedent, which could be set off with the hitting and the connecting of a meteor on the ground, causing as much devastation as this mushroom cloud, potentially. However, there's another one as well. As we keep on going a little bit further on, this lies a little bit further on in the Battle Pass, is the second to last unlock, extremely late on, and is a dinosaur head. How did the dinosaurs become extinct? Meteorites came down, ended them all, and as a result, there are no more dinosaurs left on Earth. Now that's a very extreme example. I hope that if this meteorite does hit the map, it doesn't destroy everything and there's no island for us to play on, but it's just little subtle hints that Epic Games may have thrown in there with the launch of Season 3, with the end result of the meteor coming down and striking the island. Now, as the meteor gets closer and closer to the island, becoming more prevalent in the sky, when is this actually going to connect with the island? Many people speculating it was going to be on April the 1st because it was April Fool's Day. It'd be a great reason to crush one of the biggest points of interest on the map on a day where loads of crazy things happen. However, April the 1st has been and gone. They've added in the extra boost with impulse grenades and a higher jump with boogie bomb nades, but tilted towers still stands. Now, this is a very far-fetched theory, but a very interesting one, and you guys may have experienced this, and with all of you guys watching this video, please, if you can help with this, do. I can't, because I don't play with vibrations on when I'm playing with my controller. It's something I've always turned off. It distracts me, doesn't benefit me at all, so don't play with vibrations. However, there's been a bug, or a supposed bug, recently in Fortnite where your controller will randomly vibrate for a very short period of time for no reason at all, and as a result, it's off-putting, it's annoying, there's no real in-game input that results in the vibration of your controller. However, a few guys on Reddit have put together the vibrations that you get on your controller, and they seem to consist of short and long bursts of vibrations, very similar to Morse code, which is made up of the exact same points, basically, a short point and a long point. Now, there appears to be 4 different patterns that you can get, and again, if you do play with vibrations on, and you feel these random vibrations, and you can quickly start memorizing the type of vibrations you get, please do. But according to what this Reddit user has put together, are 4 different vibration patterns that can be found in the game. Using Morse code to work out what they mean and obviously find their corresponding letters, they seem to break down to the following. So with these 4 different codes, we get ourselves SOS D5418. I feel like SOS is fairly obvious. Save our souls, a distress signal, often used when you're in a situation of immediate peril and things aren't going your way, which would make sense if a meteor is about to strike you down. D5 would be very obvious to link with coordinates for the Fortnite Battle Royale map, and I'm sure you can guess where those line up on. They hit the northern side of Tilted Towers, landing on that giant city that we've been talking about for the whole video. And finally, the numbers 418. Now, depending on where you live in the world, the month and the day goes in certain orders. So let's just take this as an American month and day. Epic Games are they're working all around the world, but they are predominantly based in America. So if we take that 4 as a month, that is April, the month that we're in right now. If we take the 18 as a day, that would land on the 18th of April of this month, falling within the Season 3 period for Fortnite Battle Royale, because that doesn't end until the end of April. And as a result, giving us a potential date for when this is all going to go down within Fortnite Battle Royale. Very interesting. Backs up also the location being Tilted Towers, but it doesn't quite end there. We've got another piece of information to back up that date as well. So after a little bit of Googling, interneting, and Redditing, it turns out that there is a meteor shower that happens on a yearly basis called the Lyrids Meteor Shower. And the dates for which this appears, and it fits between a few days actually, begins on the 16th of April and ends on the 25th of April on a yearly basis. What did we literally just say about the date? The 18th of April falls within that time frame exactly, and actually backs up that those weird vibrations were potentially Morse code translations being sent to us by Epic Games, giving us hints as to what, when, where, and why is happening on that date, April the 18th, literally in just a few weeks' time. So guys, what a crazy, crazy theory. That is everything that's been found on the internet thus far, putting all of these points together, leading to the meteor, which is very clearly above Fortnite Battle Royale right now, hitting, ending, and potentially destroying and leaving a crater in its way where Tilted Towers once stood, and no longer making it the giant city that everyone loves to land at. Now, a load of these theories have been put together by multiple people. I'll link all the sources down below in the description. A lot of them found via Reddit initially, so a big thank you to those guys. Doing a fantastic job. You guys as a community, if you want to go out and hunt and find anything yourself, please do. Explore the maps, find your findings, and tweet them at me, or leave a comment down below with proof, and that'd be absolutely amazing. And if you haven't already, go up, look in the sky, and look at that meteor. If we strip everything away from this video that we've just talked about and just talk about the exacts, there is a telescope looking at a meteor that is coming towards the map, and it will most likely land somewhere, and Tilted Towers is looking like that spot. What a crazy theory. Guys, if you want to stay up to date with all the findings for this, make sure you subscribe, and as I always say, turn on notifications. That is very, very important. And let me know down below, do you want Tilted Towers to be destroyed, Would you rather it stay and live and not be hit by this meteorite? This is such an interesting discussion, and I cannot wait to see what happens. I'll keep you updated over the next few weeks. As that meteor progresses, we will see what happens, as I'm sure it's going to get bigger and bigger, and see if it does actually land on that date that we have predicted on April the 18th this month, ladies and gentlemen. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Tell your friends, share it with all of them, let them know the craziness that is potentially happening.